Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Skeptic, here to explore the bleak and terrible. Like tonight's feature, from the land of the rising sun, we have a horrible animated piece entitled Higurashi no Naru Koro.
Good evening. I am the Skeptic. He is a con artist, child molester, murderer, and shoplifter. Don't feel bad for him, and don't feel bad in general. Looks can be deceiving, just like tonight's bundle of terror, which is indeed entitled Higurashi no Naru Koroni, or in the Western title, When They Cry.
This anime series was one of several adaptations of the original sound novel on PC, now available in Steam. We also got a manga series, drama CDs, and live-action films. The story concluded with 2 seasons, but the second season isn't nearly as scary as the first, so we're gonna mostly look at just the first season. And what's so special about this series, you might ask? Well, the horror genre in anime is surprisingly rare, despite the infamous amount of violence and sadness in anime. So, what are we waiting for?
I want some sweet, sweet mystery and rich suspense. Ooh, let's begin.
June 1983, we start off with a bang. Murder mystery starting off with a murder, violent as an anime is. The face we see here is actually our main character.
Well, this is a bit of a sticky wicket. How's he getting out of this one, I wonder?
Tone set, now rewind. That's more like it. Everything is bright, colorful, and cutesy. Oh god, the anime antics, complete with cartoony goofy expressions, falling over with leg twitch, chibi forms, anger marks, steam marks, demon horns, cartoony sound effects, playful anger that would be called excessive in real life, randomly hitting someone because humor, mouth stretching beyond confines of facial structure, arms turning into Powerpuff limbs, sporadically yelling, sparkly eyes, epic pointing, and overreactions.
Now, how could this all be possibly scary, you might ask? But in the case of this show, exaggerated happy means equally exaggerated creepy.
Especially with the use of heavy shadows, creepy girls acting creepy, and that laughter. So here's the skinning. Keiichi is the new kid on the block in the small town of Hinamizawa. So small, every kid of all ages is put into one class, but that's okay because he befriends most of the girls there. K-Dog, you playa. The closest friend being Reina, who likes to hunt for treasure at the dump, hold sharp objects, and possess anything that is cute.
Yes, I realize that does make her sound psychotic. Yeah, and she is, but more on that later.
And Mion is their upperclassman who likes to have fun and for some reason nonchalantly carries a gun with her occasionally.
Interesting detail.
We're also introduced to some other characters, including the quiet small girl named Rika, and the cute little troublemaker Sadako. After school, the whole gang gathers for a club to play numerous card and board games. Whoever is the loser has a punishment game committed upon them, like having a kitty face drawn on them, or wearing a cute dress. Okay, nothing too bad so far. When Keiichi goes to the dump with Reina and bumps into a local photographer named Tamatake, he jokes that Reina must be hiding a dead body.
As you do.
But cue in the ominous music. Then Tamatake says, oh, by the way, there's a series of murders in this town, and he's all like, what? Well, thank goodness bad humor was here to further the plot. Okay, so here's the brief history of the town. Back in the day, the town worshipped a guardian spirit named Oyashiro-sama, but if you angered him, a curse would befall the town. The Cotton Drifting Festival occurs every year using cotton balls to absorb the bad energy, or whatever, and throw them into the river. A few years back, the government wanted to build a dam that would have wound up putting the entire town underwater. The town fought back, and one of the workers was dismembered by the crowd. Damn! Pun. Since then, every Cotton Drifting Festival has had exactly 1 murder and 1 disappearance, believed to be spirited away by a demon, or in this case, our precious Oyashiro-sama. This year will mark the 5th year. Of course, when he tries to bring anything up to his friends, especially Mion and Reina, they shut down his questions, claiming to not know anything, but clearly wanting to end the conversation as quickly as possible. The day of the festival comes, and he has fun with everybody. He sees Tamatake again with a mysterious blonde woman named Takano, who are just exploring the shrines nearby. Uh-oh. The next morning, he's called out of school to talk with a policeman named Oishi. He asks him about Tamatake and Takano's whereabouts, which leads to the reveal that, respectively, were murdered and disappeared last night. Specifically, Tamatake was found having clawed out his own throat. So you might be wondering why this policeman is telling this kid some case-sensitive details.
この村の誰が一体どれだけ関わっているのか、まだ信じていないひなみ沢の方の協力が不可欠なのです。
So he's one of the few townspeople not superstitious because he's hardly lived here, so automatically you're gonna trust him with a murder case?
たたりを盲信する村人の皆さんを心配させたくないからないし。
Yeah, okay, whatever. And surprisingly, it's not Keiichi but Oishi who pushes the angle of supernatural happenings.
Good police work.
It's not long until Keiichi also discovers that Mion was involved at the damn feud years back, and Reina, who once lived in Hinamazawa before, moved to a new school where she had a psychotic breakdown, breaking all the windows and injuring people while spouting about the guardian god Oyushiro-sama, which led to her to move back home. The majority of past victims were connected to Keiichi's classmates, making them even more suspicious. It certainly doesn't help when Mion and Reina arrive at Keiichi's one night for a surprise visit, initially acting all concerned about him, and then eerily asking him about the old man he talked to.
で、何のお話をしてたの？明日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
They leave him with some ohage, only to discover a special surprise in the center. So at this point, I wouldn't blame our boy Keiichi here for being a little unnerved. He's got Reina staring at him outside his window, hearing laughter over the phone. His dad saying that Reina was here without him knowing, and saying creepy shit like this.
圭一君に内緒や隠し事があるように。レナたちにだってあるんだよ。
And we also get this scene of her face staring through the door. He also sees a suspicious white van that does not say free candy, but has uniformed men trying to hit him. Not even a license plate. Good detail. As Keiichi's paranoia grows, we see some classic horror techniques take effect, like a shaky cam, an interesting use of a fisheye lens, which effectively makes their anime eyes look even more eerie, and of course we have this really nice quick cut edit succession, which is a unique kind of zoom that emphasizes the oh shit moment. There's a use of classic horror tunes like deep percussions, high-pitched ominous music, and melancholy piano. And of course, cicadas. The sound of these humble insects are palpable throughout the entire series, serving as a sort of unsettling resonance of ambience to accompany the horrifying happenings.
あの時、うるさいほどに泣いていた日暮は、今にして思えば、これから始まる全てのことを俺に教えようとしていたのかもしれない。
Well, since typically they live underground for 17 years with the sole purpose of emerging only to have sex before their inevitable demise, I'm pretty sure they were just horny.
Keiichi starts feeling like his life is in danger, so he starts writing down what he knows in a letter that he hides behind his clock. He also finds a bat in the classroom that he adopts and practices his swing for, when one of his friends kinda not really threatens him again. This brings up concern though, because apparently the bat belonged to one of the girl's brother, Satoshi, before he disappeared last year. He still keeps his bat near, and I don't blame him, feeling like he's going crazy.
I mean, it's anime, so probably.
But Reina doesn't help with her sudden appearance, sudden mood swings, and laughter, all while holding a cleaver. And that heavy shadow. As much as it doesn't make sense in daylight, it definitely portrays ominous intent. I love that look, which is used a lot later in the show to convey a character who's going cray-cray. When Keiichi runs away, he's confronted by the mysterious uniformed men, and he's knocked out. And he wakes up to Mion and Reina waiting for him. Zoinks! They tell him it's time for him to go see the director, whoever that might be, but not before finishing their punishment game. I see what you did there, using a detail from earlier on in the show. But instead of a cat face, they pull out a syringe, presumably similar to the drug proposed to have made Tamatake claw at his own throat. And Keiichi doesn't take it well. Overwhelmed by his actions, he finishes his letter and leaves the bodies. He calls Oishi to tell him everything he knows, and that he believes he's still being followed by none other than Oyushiro-sama. We see very little while Keiichi talks over the phone, other than some scratching and gurgling. Oishi asks Keiichi if he still sees anyone behind him, but he's just too afraid to look back. By the time the police get there, Keiichi has clawed out his own throat. They find his letter with a piece missing, as well as the aforementioned syringe. All this leaves us on a greater mysterious note as to who is behind all the murders, which is yet to be continued.
And that was only Chapter 1. Now, you might be asking yourself, how does the show continue on from here? Well, Season 1 has 6 chapters, and each chapter is a kind of reboot of the month of June.
So when you start Chapter 2 and you're all like, wait a minute, how come they're well alive?
Now you've been told. But we covered a lot in today's episode, so Part 2 will be just around the corner. So keep a lookout for that. In the meantime, let's check out what scares we've collected so far.
Setting the tone with a bang. Here's what you should be prepared for. Violence and mystery. It's always a good idea, horror or non-horror, what your audience is about to get themselves into. And this starts off just right. Afraid to look back. What a cool idea to be too afraid to know who or what is following you. It keeps the story ambiguous, but still suspenseful. Wink, wink. Creepy, cryptic dialogue. Ever feel trapped in those dialogue trees in Mass Effect? Oh, that's what real life is like, especially when the person you talk to is clearly avoiding the truth and thinking of your potential demise. Footsteps of a past victim. When you realize you're repeating what a missing person has been doing, you dread what might happen next. Face through the door. It's a horror trope to see a scary face on the other side of a door, which is a very thin barrier of safety between you and a potential threat.
Little pigs, let me come in. Here's Johnny.
But to still be able to see the expression on the other side coming through is still incredibly haunting and a very good technique for moving a scene. Standing outside the house. A face not enough? Well, how about a predator-like stance watching your every move? Laughter over the phone. It's creepy. Enough said. Ohage surprise. Possible death. It makes you not trust what you eat, or even other simple objects. Hearing Reina was there. Knowing someone was there and you couldn't even tell can make you feel kinda helpless. High stakes punishment game. When the game raises its stakes to childlike reactions to murder, the dread rises too. Paranoia of the curse. The idea behind Oyashiro-sama is only hinted at, and yet its presence makes it all that much more powerful. There is something to be said about less equals more, especially when it comes to a scary unseen force. Fisheye and shaky cam, as well as the quick cut edit sequence and the use of heavy shadows. The fisheye giving us a surreal feeling of the character's dilemma, the shaky cam emphasizing the anxiety the character is feeling, the quick cuts being a unique kind of suspenseful zoom, and heavy shadows emphasizing ominous intent, and has thus become an iconic look for the series. Classic horror music. A wonderful job done by Kenji Kawai, also the composer of Ghost in the Shell. A lot of the songs are simple and even cliched types of tracks, but they work so effectively here, especially with the whole slow, suspense-building burn. Repeated history. Every year, one murder, one disappearance, and you might be next. It's a wonderful setup that affects our main characters directly. And the overall mystery, which is the theme for the whole season and exactly why I'm talking about the season specifically. Horror is not just jump scares or gore, it's also the suspense, and suspense is easily built through mystery, wondering and sitting on the edge of your seat what's going to happen and what is going on.
Chapter 1 complete. Join me next time to find out if the characters solve the mystery, and if only it weren't for that meddling Oyashiro-sama. Mushy mushy? So is this your way to tell the folks at home to stay tuned for the next episode?
Oh yes, please do.